You.
Okay,
Pause.
I am like, so we'll start. So I am like super proud of you guys. I mean, you're handling it. I mean, when class of 2020 was getting, their end of their year, all you heard was complaining and whining and, people were dying and they were worried about this and that. And you guys are handling this with an amazing amount of grace. And I just hope that your work ethic and your diligence keeps going through the rest of the year and that you keep your brains sharp and ready. And I'm going to talk more about this later on. As I get through this process today, the PowerPoint, you're going to see a lot of repetition. And the reason it has repetition is for two reasons. One, I'm old and senile. And two, is that I made the PowerPoint on purpose to repeat itself because sometimes you don't hear me the very first time I say something. And it's like, and we're not in the library, in the auditorium where I can sort of watch, make sure you're looking at me at least. So I know some of you will tune me out, and I will take this PowerPoint. I am recording this. I'm going to take your faces off it pretty much in a second and go on to the fact that we're going to share a PowerPoint, talk about Bright Futures. When we're done today, I would like you to sign up for Bright Futures, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let me get the screen to share, and we will move on. But I can't tell you how impressed I am with you guys. And it's not just you, it's the entire senior class. Okay. So let me make sure I get less pictures up. Okay. All right. So we have about 100 days of school left, 100 school days. And I know that doesn't seem long, but also when we hit the 100-day mark, there's another virus which is curable, and it is called senioritis. And it's a really dangerous thing for you all because if you are planning on going to college, the thing to do is to keep your brain sharp. And if you sort of veg out and stop doing work, then you're not sharp when it's time to go to school next year. And it's hard. It's self-discipline to be able to do this at home or in a class like where you're being moved around all the time, whether it's quarantine. But June 2021, 100 days and done. The purpose of today is to get you to apply to Bright Futures tonight, to make you aware about FAFSA, to give you some warning about what's going to occur in the next 100 days of school. If everything goes as planned or not, we don't even know what the plan is, but we're going to keep going from there. I will put this on YouTube at the end so that if you have somebody who didn't see it, it will be available for them to watch for a while. But I want to talk a little bit first about SCORE. Okay, and most of you are, I think we're only missing about 70 kids on SCORE, but it's essential that you keep track of where you are applying to college on SCORE. It is essential that you track your acceptances. And it's really important for us that you keep track of the money that schools are offering you when you get accepted. We're going to come back, it's even more essential that you put down where you're going, because at the end of the year, we're going to send transcripts via SCORE to the school that you say you're going to. And in April, I'm going to return back into your classroom, and I'm going to ask you to fill out a form, we'll have a fillable form telling us where you're going, where else you were accepted to, for a variety of reasons. One, it's a record keeping that we keep. Two, we brag about you all. We're very impressed by Palmetto's kids and how well we do. And again, I'm going to ask you to keep copies of all your acceptance letters, any monies offered. And if you want to brag about where you're going, your class has an Instagram account. If you decide I'm going here, let's post it. Let's brag about things. This is it's one thing we have right now going for us through this pandemic. We have bragging rights. So, you guys are super successful and you're doing amazing things, even from your bedrooms. SCORE also, we want you to, before the end of the year, to do that U-Science aptitude test. It gives you a 48-page analysis of your personality. It gives you different jobs or different careers that you may be interested in, things that you wouldn't even think about maybe you're interested in. By analyzing your personality answers to the questions, it does match you up to an assortment of colleges. And even, I gotta tell you this, 5 years from now, when you're finishing college or you're in the work world or whatever you're doing, you may want to make a career change. I changed my career 4 times, okay? Um, this report that you get from UScience is thousands of dollars if you take it as an adult. If Mr. Tallis or Mr. Gray or Miss Supersad decided tomorrow, I'm tired of teaching, I want to go do something else, they take this test and it gives them an insight to their personality and what they want to, maybe what they be when they grow up. So again, it's thousands of dollars. Take that UScience aptitude test. It's 2 hours. You can do it in segments. Also, scholarships are posted in my drive, and I'll show you where the drive is in a second. And I'm only communicating to you via. So I would ask you to look at that seriously. Look at the email on that, and get on score and look and make sure it's a business for you to take care of your business. I'll yell at you in a minute about scholarships. I don't mean yell at you, but I'll sort of say that. But really, you're going to need the money. So this is what your score looks like. If this person named Jack is not there, but I mean, there's the My Drive right here. It's on the bottom left-hand corner. And if you click My Drive, it turns into this with all the things that I've sent you. Current things, flyers. One thing I want you to see, 2 things that I circled with my terrible drawing, is the community service hour form is in My Drive, and you can fill it out and send it to your counselors. It is due at the end of the month. That you should fill it out, write a short essay about one thing you did. That's all you have to do. Send it to your counselor. Make sure you have enough hours for Bright Futures. And I'll talk about that in a second, about how many hours you need for Bright Futures. But more important, this up here, this upper highlighted one, FFAA instructions updated, that is actually Bright Futures. And if you click that, it will go to this. And tonight, I want you to go online and apply for Bright Futures. This application, which is going to take me about 15 minutes to explain, will take you about 5 minutes to do. And I know some of you are going to think, well, I don't qualify. Maybe I shouldn't do it. And I'm suggesting that you do it, and I'll tell you a bunch of reasons why. So you're going to go down to here where this highlighted thing, and also you should remember that June 9th is your graduation date. That's the last day of school officially. So that's what you're going to do. And once again, if I'm going too fast, it's being recorded, and you can actually watch this again if you really need to. But this paper in particular has all the steps on how to do this. Okay, this paper in particular. So when you click this over here, FFA instructions, and you get to this page and click to this page, and you click this button here, you now get to this page, which opens up Bright Futures, which is also called FFAA. So you're going to go to first time applicants, and you're going to click the link that says create a student account. Okay. And when it asks your information, like your name, your first name, your last name, your date of birth, graduation date, your sex, whether you're Hispanic, what race you are, your address, and your phone number, it's very important you put where you really live and where you are, your real phone number and email, places that you can be reached, because we're talking about money. And it's got to match with your application. Okay, if you have a wrong address in your school file, then you need to get that fixed. And I'm going to send an email out to the teachers on how to fix addresses if you want to fix your address, because I know some of you still have addresses from a couple of years ago. So this is very important. And then you push this submit button. And when you push the submit button, it's going to have everything all printed out, nice and neat for you. And if everything is correct, by the way, if everything is correct, you can submit it. And later on, if you want to change it, because you're going to get a user ID number, you're going to get on and you're going to change it. And you can fix it and change anything you want to do. It's then going to give you this profile, okay? And then you're going to submit your profile, okay? So, but are you finished? No, not yet. I'm sorry, it's not that easy. So we now go to the next page, and it's important that you put down, is Florida your legal state of residence? The answer should be yes if you've been here more than a year. Are you a citizen, a non-citizen, or an eligible non-citizen? There's different criteria for these two. If you would have to fill it out, to ask you what kind of visa you're on. I do at this time want to say, if anybody in this group of people are DACA or undocumented students, or your parents are undocumented students, please reach out to Ms. Dwyer or myself. Ms. Dwyer is up in the office, in my office, and I'm home on Zoom right now. But reach out and let us know that you're DACA, and please seek assistance. There are different programs. In fact, our new school board member is really, really big. They just did a whole new piece of legislation on the school board for DACA students. The next question is super important. Have you ever been found guilty or entered a plea of nolo contendere to a felony? I would hope that everybody in this room would say no. Okay, that is the goal. If you were arrested or picked up for something, you were probably not a felon. If you say yes to this, what you are really doing is saying, I am a felon, state of Florida, don't give me any money. Usually about 10 kids a year put yes. And then usually I would call them down, and we'd have to get on the phone and call Bright Futures and tell them that you are not a felon, but you don't get anything. You can't go to school, those schools, if you're a felon. The next question is, so you're going to put no on this one, a big no. Are you a dependent of a veteran who's been classified as deceased or disabled? Usually 1 or 2 kids in the building may have a parent like that. Are you a descendant of a family member so usually that answer is no. Are you a descendant of a family member that was affected by the Rosewood incident? If you were affected by the Rosewood incident, first of all, you'd be African-American, and 2, very few of you are left with that. It was an incident that happened back in the 20s, and it gives scholarships to African-American students whose lineage goes back to this. And then, wrong, went up 1 page, sorry about that. Okay, last question, last question is about being Hispanic, because there are certain grants for people from the Caribbean or South America. You'll say yes, and then it would come up with the different varieties of Hispanic, and you would choose it. And finally, if you happen to be a dependent of a farm worker. And that's not for us so much, although some of you from Homestead may have family members that are farm workers. Okay, now you're going to put in, will you have graduated from a public or private high school? They don't have an answer, I hope, so you have to put yes. Okay, so that you're going to put yes, you're going to graduate from a public school. The next question is, while living with a parent or guardian who's military, will you graduate from a high school diploma? Not, that's not for you, so skip this question. Next one is select your Florida high school graduation option. It's public school. Miami-Dade, which alphabetically goes under D when you're looking for it. Don't look for the M's. And then you're going to select the school that you go to. Little trick to that, although the only reason I say make a big deal of this is every year somebody puts down the adult school. This time you're going to put Miami Palmetto Senior High, and you're going to click that button and make sure that's the button that clicks. Okay, now they're going to ask you some other little simple questions. In what district are you home educated? Well, you're not home educated, even though you're home. In what district were you occurred as a home ed? You're not a homeschool. Nobody in our building is an AICE or an International Baccalaureate student, no matter what. So it's no. The next question, oops, sorry about that. Okay, the next question, in the fall of 2021, you're going to be a freshman, no matter what. I don't care if you have dual enrollment classes, AP credits, everybody is a freshman. Even kids who go to SAS, who graduate with an AA degree, they still apply to this as a freshman, so you get 4 years, okay? And so that's super important. And when you're done with this, when you're gonna plan what school, in-state, out-of-state, it should look a little bit like this. Will you have earned your baccalaureate prior to it? No. Where are you gonna be in fall of 2021? A freshman. For most of you, a lot of you, it's in-state school. At this point, you're gonna have to pick a school, even though some of you don't know where you're going. Because remember, you can go back in April after you know where you're going and fix this. For now, if you know where you're going, click the button in-state or out-of-state and say what school. If you have other financial aid information could be sent to other schools, you put them down here in this area right here. So this is a good time to talk about being in-state or out-of-state. Even if you're going out of state, we want you to put that in there and still apply. No, you will not get any money. But if for chance you decide to come back and to in-state to Florida by the time you're a junior, the money is still waiting for you. And I can tell you, I know I always remember kids who've done it, and some kids have applied and the money's waiting for them, and other kids don't, and they have to pay full tuition at whatever school they transfer to. So now the printout should look like this. It's going to say what school, your address, and you make sure everything is all accurate and it's pending. And you'll also get a user ID at this point. That's right here, okay, where the purple line is, right by Mr. Wyer's name. And that's your user ID, and that you'll write down and put somewhere. And then you're going to submit. Okay? And it's really this simple. And it takes that much longer. And then it will come up to this. Okay? And then you're going to push the results, and it's going to come looking like this. And it will tell you some facts about yourself, and then you will get an email, hopefully sending you your username and the password that you created. Okay? Because you do create a password in the beginning. Okay. That's Bright Futures. I would like you to apply tonight. Okay? Remember, you can always sign in. You can always change the schools. You can always fix your address if your parents are moving. You can change schools if you transfer. The hotline for this number, that's the number, 888-272-2004. 2004 is when Bright Futures first started. Monies do not get there until the last minute. So if you put the money to come in summer, it's going to be late. And if you put the money for August, it's going to get there right before August. And you can always change anything. I know you're probably not going to remember this phone number, but once again, I'll put this on the YouTube channel so that you can call them if there is an issue. Until school's out, you can reach out to me or any problems with Bright Futures. After that, you can probably reach out to Mr. Wire, since I'll be graduating with you guys. So that's how this works. How does Bright Futures work on the amount of money? First of all, Bright Futures is also called FFAA, but the Florida Academic Scholars, which is full tuition plus $300 book money per semester, is a 3.5 weighted GPA by Bright Futures standards. That's a half of a weight compared to what we weighted. So if you know, it's somewhere in between your weighted and unweighted GPA. If you need help calculating it, feel free to reach out to me or Mr. Dwyer. We'll show you what it is. They only look at your core classes. So if you're in journalism or PE or art or drama, they don't count those classes. They only count your English, your math, your social studies, your foreign language, and any AP electives and honors electives that are academic. Okay, the SATs are pretty high for this, and the ACT. 1330 for the SAT or 29 for the ACT, and 100 hours of community service. If you turn in your community service form this next couple weeks, this will be documented as you submit. Florida Medallion pays 75% of your tuition. You need a 3.0 Bright Futures GPA, also looks at your core classes. You need a 1210 on the SAT or a 25 on the ACT, and 75 hours of community service hours documented before we send transcripts. We will send transcripts out approximately mid-February. So you need to get this done and your hours in the computer as soon as possible. I do this, some schools actually have you guys do this in December. I wait till the last minute because I find you guys tend to do better if I say, get it done today. Florida Gold Seal. If you're in Miss Brislon's program, Miss Yuli's program, Coach Soderholm's program, Miss Downey, who am I missing? I'm missing one more. Okay, vocational. Oh, Arabal and the business program. If you're a program completer with the lower scores here, you can still get some money, 30 hours of community service. Remember, this is Bright Futures as of today. Our state legislature is going to come back and meet, and they could change things. Last year, the push was to take the SAT scores off the table. They still may do something like that. We don't know. Make sure you apply. If you don't apply, you can't get anything. And I know a lot of you are going to be saying, you know, why should you apply now? I may not have the money. Okay, if you apply now and get the scholarship, it's locked in and it can only go up, it can't go down. So, for instance, if you have a 3.0 and a 25 on your ACT and you apply and at 75 hours community service and you apply today, you'll get locked in at that amount. It can go up if your scores go up. But if you have a little senioritis and your GPA goes down in the spring, you're still locked in. But if you apply after February 1st, you could lose the scholarship. If your scores go from a 28 to a 29 and you have a 3.5, and the first time you were given the lower scholarship, you'll be moved up a scholarship. The only way you can lose this scholarship is by getting arrested or not graduating. They're the only two ways. So stay out of trouble, graduate, fill out the Bright Futures application. Okay. But, what if I'm going out of state? You never, guys, we all know these times are so fragile. So many kids last year were supposed to go out of state and they stayed home. So I am suggesting that possibly you do the application, and the worst is you spend 5 minutes doing an application. If you decide to go away and come back home, whether it's for a family illness, whether it's because of a storm that comes and hits your home, whether the pandemic gets worse, I mean, you guys have been through the biggest what if of any group I've ever known in my 38 years of being a counselor. I've never seen anything what you guys have gone through. So the what if is such a, you guys know what if looks like. Okay, if you don't have the scores or the GPA to get the award, remember there's the gold seal for some of you. There's other grants if you put the application in. You're telling the colleges you want money. And remember this, if there's anything you're going to remember, if your score is a little low for this, you can test all the way till June. So that means if you have a 23 or a 22 on the ACT and you decide, God, maybe I'll study, okay? The SAT, ACT, you can take it till June. Last year, because of the cancellations, they kept going till November. So again, I can't predict what the state legislature is going to do, but remember, if you're close, you may want to test again. If you're sitting with 28 in your ACT, you may want to test again in June to try to get the big award. So I hope you guys understand that. It's simple, just apply. And if you get close on the test, make sure you take the test. So, okay. This is not the FAFSA, which we've talked about before. Bright Futures, which is called the FFAA, is state funded and based on your GPA and test scores. The FAFSA is federal and based on your family income. Remember, colleges don't give money unless you ask for them. And remember, if you're going to Miami-Dade, a complete FAFSA and a Miami-Dade application creates free tuition if you start in the summer or fall. And remember that the website is FAFSA.gov, not FAFSA.com, not FAFSA.net, not FAFSA.edu. They'll take you to a site that will charge you to do the FAFSA. And you don't pay for any of these two applications. This is free money. The website is FAFSA.gov. You're going to be applying for the 21-22 school year, unless you're going to summer also, and then you're going to apply both for the 2021 and the 21-22. If you're confused about the FAFSA, there's lots of options. Simplest one, watch 7 Steps to FAFSA on YouTube in all languages. It's in multiple languages. So you and your parents can sit and watch it and see if that fixes the problem. You can go onto my YouTube channel and watch Financial Aid Night back from October. Nothing has changed, and it shows you how to do the FAFSA. You could ask for help. You could reach out actually and ask for help. Just before you ask for help, go on and create the FSA ID for you and your parent, because that saves a day on FAFSA.gov. And then if your parents and you need help, just ask Ms. Dwyer, myself. There's some teachers in the building that actually have done the FAFSA. Some of our teachers are parents that are doing it right now currently. So they're going to be going through the same thing you are. So just make sure you do the FAFSA. Right now, we're a little bit over 40% have done it. We'll end up with about 75. So let's just try to get this done. It is not that hard. It's based on your parents' taxes, not from this last year, 2020, but from 2019. So it's very easy to submit. Okay, I'm going to start repeating myself a little bit more and talking, but I want to make sure I keep saying it. Make sure you collect all your acceptance letters. If you get scholarship offers, even if you're not going, please keep track of them. I'll be back in April and we'll do some type of Zoom and ask you to collect the data and give it to me and tell us, where are you going? Where are you accepted? What schools were you accepted to? Where are you finally going? May 1st is decision day. And your class has got an After Palmetto 2021 Instagram account. Let's celebrate where you're going. We can't do it the way other years we've done it, but we can do it the best way possible. I know it's not the way we want to celebrate your accolades and where you're heading, but we're stuck in this era of social media, and I guess we're going to use it to its fullest extent. So let's celebrate where you're going. Let's make sure everybody knows that you are heading here or I am heading there. I think it's super important for us to take care of ourselves. Speaking of scholarships, though, like on the same thing, remember they're all on SCORE. I had a scholarship posted last week worth thousands of dollars where we nominate, open to anybody with a 3.0 or 3. There was 2 of them, one for 3.0, one for 3.8. Totally, I had 4 applicants for two nomination spots. Guys, you're going to need this money. I can only tell you, I hate like begging you guys to apply for scholarships. But on the college websites that you're looking at, whether it's Miami-Dade or Yale, every college has merit scholarships. Miami-Dade has a 6-page thing that I send out every once in a while. All these scholarships that are available for Miami-Dade students. College websites all have merit scholarships. It's easy to ignore now when you're not sure where you're going, but your bills are going to come. And if you're planning on living away from home, that costs money. Okay, so please start looking for scholarships if you haven't yet, or continue if you are. Status updates. Okay, first of all, one thing that I have forgotten to tell all the other classes, which I'm going to say today, is class GPAs will be run in February one last time. So all the credits will transfer onto your portal and you'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see new GPA, a new percentile. And at that point, we're going to send mid-year transcripts. So that's when that all happens, right in the middle of February. But status updates, okay, that's a whole other topic. School results. I get this email all the time. My transcripts aren't at the school yet. I'm looking at my update and it says they don't have my letter of recommendation. Remember that colleges are not live. It's not like your credit card where you take your parents' credit card, you spend $50 and they get a text saying, oh, Sebastian spent $50 at Starbucks, okay? That's not what it's like. Updates on the computer, the college rep gets the application, but somebody else is inputting that he got it. Most times he gets it before. We had a kid last week accepted to a college, and on his update, it said they were still waiting for transcript. Okay, so it's not always accurate. If you have a problem with materials not getting there, before you reach out to me or Ms. Dwyer to see if SCORE sent it, call the college and make sure you find out, do they have your information? Find out, when you find out information, ask who you talk to. Ask for a name. Okay, call us last on that kind of instance, because we're just going to tell you, let's call the college. Okay. Finally, if you are applying to FSU, you do have to do a mid-year SSAR. They will be sending you an email about that because some of the schools have already hit their semester already. Like in schools in Northern Florida have already hit semester. So they're going to ask you for your mid-year grades. They know Miami-Dade's not closed yet. It has not switched to, has not gone to the next semester yet. They know better than anybody. All right, I'm going to talk about final transcripts for a second, and I will come back and talk about this at another time too. But just remember, Bright Future transcripts automatically sent if you apply. Can you guys please mute? Miami-Dade is going to be asking for your transcripts and they're going to send you a letter saying you're not going to get financial aid until you send them. That letter is only because you completed your application. You can ignore that for now. They want a final transcript when you graduate. They just have this way of doing it that occurs that way. So don't worry about that one. We will send final transcripts out in June, okay? But by May, you're going to tell us where you're going, and then we'll send them out in late June. And again, I will be back in the Zoom rooms or classrooms or whatever we're doing at that point to explain how transcripts are going to be sent out. Okay, at this point, guys, applications should be done or almost finished. I would normally say the later you wait, the worse it gets, but it's already late. Okay, so if you have to start having a plan about where you are going, it really is time. 100 days, guys, 100 school days. Okay, graduation, you have to do a credit check with your counselor if you're not sure. Okay, if you failed anything in the first half, like government, econ, trig, any of those semester classes, you may have to make them up. Government econ for sure. If that's your fourth math, for sure. Remember, there's semester classes. Okay, so if you have an academic issue, your counselors are reachable by email. When you email them, please put your phone number so they can call you back, because some of you will send an email and not check your email for about 3 days. All right, and that's another problem we need to deal with. Your community service first due date is at the end of the grading period. You're going to document all your hours, especially for Bright Futures, on the numbers. You're going to write a short essay about one thing you did, and then you're going to email it to your counselor. The form, like I said earlier, and I showed you, it's in the file drive. Fill it out and send it to the counselor. I want to talk about FLVS if you're not on target. Remember, you don't graduate unless you get this done. Remember, personal fitness is required, okay? And fitness lifestyle is the other class on virtual school. If you are going for a waiver for PE for athletics, you have to let your counselor know. This is me now making a suggestion. If you are an athlete trying to use your athletics as the waiver, and you are a spring sport for your final one, I'd think about signing up for FLVS because, you know, again, I don't know anything, okay? But if God forbid this gets worse and there is no sports, then we have an issue. So, and FLVS is backed up. Sign up for that class today, along with Bright Futures, okay? And we'll move on from there and get it done. Okay, we are here to help. And you're gonna hear me say this in the next few slides. I'm at home almost all the time with Zoom. So my Zoom room, if I'm in my desk, my Zoom room is open. Feel free to pop in if you want to. Email me for an appointment. Ms. Dwyer is physically in the CAP office if you're in school. We're both making appointments. The counselors are available. They're all in the building. And starting tomorrow, I will open up my Zoom room every day during lunch, not for appointments, but to come in, just like I would normally do if it was a normal year, come in and make an appointment, come in and just sit and talk. Friday, I told this to a few juniors. I had 6 juniors sitting in there eating lunch, talking about applications for themselves. I wasn't even really part of the conversation. It was just an open Zoom room. The couch is set up. Just come in, not really, by the way, but just come in and if you just want to talk and just check things out. I am there for you. And Ms. Dwyer is sitting in the office with a real couch. I don't know if she's going to let you sit on the couch, but you know, we have the ability to talk to you, and the counselors are available if you need them. If you're still not sure about whether you want to go to college, and I'll be back at the end of the year one more time to talk about get a career in a year at Robert Morgan or at Miami Lakes Technical School, where I've talked to some of your classes about it already. This career in a year is an unbelievable program if you want to get working and you don't want to go to school anymore and you want to get a career. If you don't get into the state school that you want to get into, here's a whole list of all the community colleges. Remember, like Santa Fe has an arrangement with Florida. Miami-Dade has one with FIU, TCC with FSU. But remember, you can transfer from Miami-Dade to University of Florida. You can do those things. They're open admission. You don't need to take the SAT or ACT. This is if you don't get what you want, but you still want to go to that area. Remember, Miami-Dade has the American Dream. I'm going to repeat it again, a 3.0 weighted and a complete FAFSA. That gets you guaranteed tuition free as long as you go in the summer or the fall. Okay. And one last time, if you're not sure what you want to do and you have great grades and good SAT scores, okay, the Honors College at Miami-Dade is meant for kids who are not ready to leave Miami, but want to leave and go out of state junior year. And they have it's a competitive application. It's open through the end of the month, at least, if not till February. There's an interview included. There's an essay included, a letter of recommendation, not a hard one. Reach out to me if you're not sure. We'll sit and we'll talk about it and see if it's a fit for you. But the American Dream, I mean, the Honors College is just a fantastic program. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, I can slow down a little bit now. I know this is stressful, okay? It's okay to be anxious. You're going to, they're going to get acceptances. You're going to get denials. Some of you may be put on wait list or deferred. Some of you may have financial aid issues. Decisions are going to have to be made. You don't have to do this yourself. There is a wealth of experience in the counseling department. There's a wealth of experience with some of your teachers. Just reach out. Remember, everything I'm talking about today is non-pandemic related. It's normal that if you feel stressed today over this whole situation, whether it's deciding where to go, deciding what to do, deciding how can I afford it, they're all the issues that we've been dealing with for years and years. And the pandemic doesn't affect that. It may affect your final decision, but it does not affect the application process. So please, I'm asking you to reach out for help, okay? Especially if you're in any kind of dilemma. Okay, this is a very tough subject for me to talk about, even tougher because I'm recording this. You're gonna make a big decision soon. I mean, coming up in May, June, you're gonna be making life decisions. And with all this, it's not time to be weak. It's time to be strong and to take care of yourself. If you were going to go run a marathon, you would not be sitting eating ice cream and drinking soda and eating candy for weeks before the marathon. Your big test is coming up when you make that decision on where you want to go. It is time to be clear-headed. And at 18 years old, I do know there are temptations and things that are going to distract you. And I'm not talking Netflix and other things. I'm talking about things that can change your moral compass. It's time to see what's important and be clear-headed as you make the biggest decision of your life. Do not think twice before you do something. If you hear that little voice in your head saying, should I? The answer is no, okay? If you think I don't care, I'm just going to do it anyway, that's a great sign not to do it. So, and if you have issues with that, reach out. Okay, guys, but you have to maintain some type of clear-headedness. And again, if you can avoid it, I know I'm beating my head against the wall with some of you, but to take care of yourself mentally and physically, especially with the way the situation is with the pandemic, it's important that you take care of yourself. You've gotten this far. Okay? While you're sharp and alert, please don't forget to check your email. Put on your notifications. Don't miss out on letters of acceptances or scholarships or status updates. Remember, anything important is coming through email now. And if you don't count that as more important than an Instagram post or more important than a TikTok, more important on the next episode of Netflix, you're going to have an issue. You're going to make some wrong decisions. So make sure you check your email. And once again, check that moral compass. I've already said this to you. How can we help your counselors? We have so many, it's ridiculous right now. We have more counselors we've ever had. We have a trust counselor. We have our 5 academic counselors, myself and Ms. Dwyer. Your teachers are counselors in some way. We know this has not been easy. How did you deal with this dilemma? Questions, we'll be back. We're available. I think I can't say anything more than I've already said about that. We are here for you if you want us. It is, it's time to move forward. Mr. Dwyer, have we got Ms. Valera yet? Okay,
Yes,
I read your lips. So Ms. Valero is going to come and talk to you for a little bit of caps and gown. And Ms. Valero, Ms. Dwyer, did I forget anything at all?
no, you did awesome.
I did actually pretty well today. This is probably my best one yet. I haven't repeated myself at all.
Practice makes perfect.
Not always, at least not intentionally, not unintentionally. I'm keeping Sebastian's awake because I keep looking at his face. Again, Miss Valero, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. You have the ability to share screen. So here is Ms. Valero. Ms. Valero, when are we having a baby?
In April.
Okay.
But I'm not at my most pleasant right now. Okay.
You're radiating. You're radiating totally.
Hi everyone. I wanted to come on to go over two things quickly with you. One, information about cap and gown, and two, to probably bum you out. So I'm sorry, I'm just throwing in the bummer. But I do need to talk to you a little bit about your senior activities, because I think at this point we've been waiting for something to happen and waiting for good news to kind of present itself. And in the end, I don't want to keep you guys in the dark about what's going on. So I think it's better if you understand what's going on than if you just are sitting there not knowing what's going on. So so what I'd like to do is just very briefly talk about your senior activity. So first of all, this is around the time that you guys would be purchasing tickets to your senior picnic, the grad bash, and prom. Now, at this moment, you need to understand that we are currently in what's called phase 2 of the return back to normalcy. So basically, we were in phase 1, everyone was home. Phase 2, you had the choice to come back on campus. What we're waiting for is phase 3. And so phase 3 is going to be that return of everyone to campus, and then the approval phase of field trips. So the return of field trips. In order for us to be able to have your senior activities, they need to start okaying large scale gatherings, first of all, or larger scale gatherings. And then also field trips, off campus activities. And so because of that, we aren't in that phase yet. So they're not going to be approving things like proms and grad bashes and all that sort of thing. So right now we're just in a holding pattern, and we're waiting for someone to make a choice and someone to come on and say it's okay to return. That doesn't mean we don't have plans on the back burner. That does not mean that at all. We are planning things and putting things into consideration and being ready for that moment when they say, okay, you guys are cleared to start things up again. But that hasn't happened yet. So I just wanted you to know why you're not hearing about your events and what's going on with your events. It's because we haven't canceled them completely, but we can't proceed with them at the moment. All right, so that's what you need to know. The one thing that I would say, I bet it'll probably happen, fingers crossed, don't quote me, is going to be your graduation. Right now, the district has 3 plans in place for possible scenarios for your graduation. I know that no matter what, when it comes to graduation, all schools will do the same thing. It's equity among all the schools. So they choose for us. So the 3 options at the moment are going to be graduation in person, so your full ceremony, but with a reduced audience, meaning you'll get less tickets for the people to come see you graduate. In-person graduation with no audience, meaning you'll be there, you'll walk, you'll commence, but your family and friends will watch from home. And then finally, you're going to have the last option, which will be a fully virtual graduation, which is what the class of 2020 had. And that fully virtual graduation, what that'll look like is it'll be your graduation ceremony. So everyone that makes a speech will have a recorded speech on the screen, and then they will do a roll call of graduates, but but you guys, your picture will appear. So they'll say your name and your picture will appear on the screen. That's why it's very important to make sure that that all of you have taken your photo for Herff Jones. So your formal portrait at Herff Jones, because if we do go to a virtual graduation, you have to understand that all that we will see of you in person will be that photo. So if you haven't taken a photo at Herff Jones, we're just going to see your name across the screen. So it's very important for you guys to do that, and know that we will also this year not be able to take a senior panoramic. We usually take a photo that looks like this. But since we can't do that because we can't smush a bunch of, we can't smush 700 people into one spot and take a photo, what we're going to be doing this year is put together a composite of everyone's senior photo that you took at Foxmar. So a composite photo, and that'll serve as the senior panoramic for the class of 2021. So it's very important for you guys to take that senior photo, okay? So if you have not already done so, make an appointment with Foxmar. It does not cost anything. So if you're just doing it to be in the yearbook, be in the senior composite, and also to be in, just in case the virtual, excuse me, then they will not charge you for a sitting fee, all right? It's only if you're gonna be changing positions to do multiple different photos, and if you're gonna buy photos, that's when they start charging you, okay? So know that, but everyone's gotta make that appointment. All right, so because we are prepping for for the possibility of an in-person graduation, and even if we do go virtual, everyone needs to purchase their cap and gown, and that's usually what happens in these first 2 weeks of January. So because of that, we're going to be giving you the opportunity to buy your cap and gown, but it's so much easier this year. It's like the one good thing that's come out of all this virtual stuff is that we are going fully virtual for the purchasing of your cap and gown, meaning you guys don't have to sit in a line in the courtyard for 40 minutes to try to order your cap and gown. It takes 5 minutes and you do it online. In fact, so fast that I want you to do it today. I want you to get it done and taken care of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to show you how you order it. It's not so complicated, and actually the full link is on our school's website, so you don't even need to know a lot of this information, but I like to make sure that all of you see it and understand how to get from point A to point Z on the website, in case for some reason the link doesn't work or it's copied incorrectly or whatever it may be. So at least you know how to do it. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to, hold on, share, I'm going to share. You're going to go to Herff Jones's website for Miami. So hjmiami.com. And that is actually easy to find on Google. And you're going to go up to the up right corner under graduation supplies and click on cap and gown. That's going to take you to a search to find Palmetto, because you need to make sure that you are finding the right cap and gown and purchasing the right one for you. You can just type Palmetto or whatever it is and click on our school. And then this is where it gets a little weird. So you're going to see here that there's no picture of a cap and gown anywhere. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to go to graduation supplies. You can see right here it says cap and gown. So you're going to click there. Now, this is going to take you to a screen where you're like, Ms. Blair, there are no caps and gowns on this screen. Well, these are the graduation announcements. These announcements are not something that you have to order right this moment. You'll get them soon enough. In fact, you don't even know your graduation date. So it's not the best time to order the announcements right now. However, you are going to want to order announcements, and Herff Jones does the official announcement order from Palmetto because it includes like our school seal and things that you might need. You might want, excuse me, on your announcement. But what this does is this is sent out to family and friends announcing that you're graduating from high school. It's great in this year where you guys are being kind of like gypped of all your awesome senior activities. You might have family and friends that feel sorry for you and might send you a really, really nice gift in the mail. or Maddie.
I have to add my little thing. So last year, anybody who sent me an announcement, family, by the way, I doubled their normal graduation gift because of a little bit of, I felt bad for them.
So that being said, just take a look at these if you want, but that's not what's important right now. What's important now is all the way at the bottom of the page. You scroll all the way down and you see you're going to shop for individual items, including the cap and gown, and you're going to click there. All right. There are a bunch of different packages you can buy for cap and gown that include different things like sweaters and diploma frames and things like that. But the only thing you need, you can buy them if you want, but the only thing you need is the cap and gown. So you're going to click there, and then that's where you're going to enter all your information about cap and gown, and you're going to add it to the cart. All right. Then you're pretty much done. You're going to go up to the top to your cart, check out, and enter all your payment information there. Once you are done paying, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to print your payment page so you have proof just in case for some reason it doesn't come in or whatever it may be, or they have the wrong size or whatever. So you're going to make sure that you print that payment page and then hold on to it until they're delivered. The caps and gowns are not taken to your home. They are delivered here to Palmetto. Once you are cleared to graduate by your counselor, you will get your cap and gown from us. We will hand it to you and you'll be good to go for graduation. If you do not purchase your cap and gown by the time that graduation, if you do not purchase your cap and gown by the deadline, then you're going to have to wait until you are cleared to graduate by your counselor towards the end of May. That's not smart, and I'll tell you why. The reason is that you're going to have to go down to the Herff Jones store in Doral, and you're going to have to pay for it there in person, which everyone else that's late is going to be doing in the district as well. And B, the cost goes up. So the cost goes up to like $48, $45, which is double the price. So you don't want to be doing that. So you want to do this now before the deadline expires. And your last chance to buy it online is going to be January 31st. So I need everyone to do it as soon as possible. Do it now. Do it today. Get it done and out of the way so that you're assured that you're ready to go for your graduation. Okay. So that's that for cap and gown. So I gave you two things that I need you to do today. One is buy your cap and gown online, and two is going to be to make sure that you have taken your senior photo with Foxmar in order to be included in the senior panoramic and also in the composite, in the virtual graduation in case we have a virtual graduation. There's a couple of things about yearbook. The last day to have your yearbook photo taken, so your senior portrait to appear in the yearbook, meaning it's going in the yearbook, is going to be February 6th. So if you want to get in the yearbook, you need to get that appointment right now. You're going to go to the palmecho.com if you want to submit a senior quote for the yearbook. And you're going to click on senior quotes there. And then just a reminder to purchase your yearbook. This is going to be a really special, memorable book that you're going to want to share and look back on a lot. And you're going to want to share it with your kids or your friends in the future. So, because this is even though it's not the most fun of school years, it is definitely the most active and memorable, and I think that you guys are going to want to remember this, and the book is going to really reflect that, reflect how special this year was. So make sure that you purchase your yearbook because they are going fast. That's a note from Ms. Huffman and the rest of the yearbook staff. So again, I wish I was coming to you with better news. I wish I was coming to you with a positive outlook on the fact that we're going to be able to do some of these awesome activities, but I can't. I did want to come to you with truth, and I did want to come to you with explanations so that you understand everything. But in the end, if you guys have any suggestions or any ideas about ways that we can be making things more memorable for you, I'm always open to suggestions. You can email me if you're home in order to set up an appointment or whatever it may be, like a Zoom. And then also, you can contact your class officers at any time if you want to DM the Instagram account or whatever it may be, because we're open to doing things that will celebrate you, but are still within reason, are still safe, are still small while we're still in this situation. And know that whatever activities we are clear to plan, they are going to be memorable and very, very special and reflect how spectacular your class is. So so don't fret about that, and let us know what we can do to make things a little bit better. And we're here. Get your cap and gown.
Did you read what Ms. Huffman said?
I just did.
Okay, thank you. I was okay. Guys, I'm not going to take much longer, and I know some of you had to leave, some of your teachers called you out. For those of you who are still here, I want you to know that how important it is that you understand that I know you've lost a lot this year. And I just want you to know this is a chapter of your life, one chapter of your life that's not ending the way you thought it was going to end. But you have a lot of chapters left, a lot of celebrations to go. And even though you don't have exactly what we all thought you were going to have or what we all planned, that it's going to be an amazing life, hopefully, if we stay healthy and we do the right thing, that you're going to have lots of celebrations as time moves on. So I love the fact that you are relentless and you keep moving forward. I don't want to see you stop. Don't let that senioritis take over. Keep learning from your teachers. Stay focused on what you want to do for a goal, and don't let anybody stop you. So I'm going to end this now because I know your teachers want to get back. And if you have any questions, please reach out for help. Okay, please, we're all here to help you.
Mr. Nuremberg, what was the deadline for senior quotes?
February, hold on.
Hold on, I got it.
Last day, senior portrait, questions, see me during fourth period.
Senior quotes, there's no deadline on it at the moment. So that's a question for Arlene.
She said February 6th yesterday.
That's what I thought she said too. It's early February.
Okay. I have to jump on another Zoom. So does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for me, guys?
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Dallas, Talis, Mr. Gray. Thank you, Ms. Avilas. Thank you. Take care, everybody, and we will see you soon, okay? Miss you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Nuremberg, Ms. Dwyer.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a great day.
Thank you all.
So Mr. Nuremberg, I'm in your office and there's a student here, so I'm going to
Okay,
keep it.
I want to stop recording. Hi, Emily.